Those are 7 different categories of sports bettors. Which one are you? Hey guys, this is Ken Manubay with Picking Duck, and recently there was an article in The Ringer that talks about professional sports bettors and how they're being squeezed out of the industry, of the new industry of what's going on right now, because, you know, as the legalization comes, they're being pushed out because professional sports bettors are being pushed out because of these European style bookmakers, and their style of bookmaking is a bit different from the way that Americans were doing it. And the Europeans, they really care about that bottom line, how much they're going to be making. So of course, if a professional sports bettor is playing against them and is taking their money and ruining their bottom line, they're not having it, so they got to cut them off. But, you know, what they were talking about in the article was that it's not the American way, right? And it's like, if you're going to put a line out there, be man enough to take the bet on it. And so, you know, there's some balance there, that where you got to say, like, you know, are you concerned about profits, or are you concerned about, you know, giving the customer the best experience? Now, this past week, I've talked to you guys a little bit about betting strategies like reverse line movement, betting the middle, and other strategies that that professional bettors actually use. And there's a research company that came out with 7 different types of bettors. I'm going to read it to you. There's a casual dabbler, you know, probably someone who just puts a bet here and there. You got your status seekers, super fans, action chasers. Oh yeah, no, those are very common amongst my friends. The action chasers, the would-be pros, the high rollers, and the sharps. Now, those are 7 different categories of sports bettors. Which one are you? You know, I of course, everybody starts as a casual dabbler, and I recall being a casual dabbler. And, you know, playing as a casual dabbler, you play the games that are very popular, and you play a certain way because you're just playing for fun, but you also want to be able to play for fun but yet still win that money. But once you finally move over to sharp betting or the would-be pros, you know, you're trying to really beat the books. And when you're really trying to beat the books, you're not really necessarily playing the way you used to play, which was games that you enjoyed watching. Now all of a sudden you're playing things where you just have an edge on it. And so once you change that type of play, that really changes sports betting for you, that you're playing as an investment, not gambling. So the way that sharps and, you know, professional sports bettors look at it, it's an investment. And once you know that you're making these investments, like other investments, you're looking for small growth over time. And that's not the same with gambling. Gambling, you're looking for large growth in a short period, but that is very high risk. You end up losing. But if you're looking at it as an investment, you can make those small wins over time, and of course you eventually win. The other way that you would really make, since you're winning small amounts, you really need to have a high bankroll, or you know, to really make those small amounts really be something for you to live off of. And that's how professional sports bettors make their money, but that's also how they get banned. So I'll tell you a little bit about how the books that I was playing at, they banned me also. And so, you know, I had a few different books, and they assumed that I was using a bot. but that's not the case. And it's really just using a calculator and calculating how much you have in your bankroll versus how much you can wager to make sure that you're getting the right amount to get the best value within all the bets that you're making. Because when you're doing the strategies that I've been going to be talking about and that I've already mentioned, you need to place a multitude of bets, especially if you're betting in the middle, so you gotta bet both ways, but you gotta have a high bankroll to really make it have a dent in your wallet, so that you can collect from them. So, once you start winning, what happens is, they'll take notice, and it's like you win, and then the times that you lose is very small, but then you're constantly winning every week, and they don't like that. But what's so sad was that, when you were playing with them for so long, and then they, I guess, and then when they finally notice that, hey, this is turning around, that they're getting all their money back, then they want to cut you off, which is not right. So books have been taking, my money, people around me, their money, but then once you start trying to take that money back, they won't let you. So that's something that you guys really got to be aware of. While you're playing, what are you giving up to them? So make sure that if you're playing, play for fun. Don't make it something that's so serious. But if you're serious, then you got to take it to the next level. So if you're serious, you send me a message and we can talk about that, and I can help you with that. But that's also the same case with the professional sports bettors that play in the casinos, and for them, they're actually using a really high amount. They have a higher budget, so they're throwing that 20,000 down on a play, and then all of a sudden, if they win it, then they're being looked at, and if they constantly win, then now all of a sudden they're being limited into how much they can bet. It can go from, like, when you first get there, from unlimited to all the way down to, like, oh, okay, now your limit's at $100 or $500 a game, even if, who knows, they might not even let you do 500. But the way that that professional sports bettors have been getting around that was by sending in other guys to make their bets. And this is the way Billy Walters did it, and this is the way that a lot of other professionals do it. They send people in with money, they place the bet, and if that person who was seen or who put that bet, they kind of seem like, oh, they're working with someone else, then they also cut them off too. So those guys are called beards. So that's what happens when you start beating books. They will cut you off. So at this point, if you guys are just playing, and if you want to take some money back, you got to start going pro, work with some professionals. And if you're looking to take your money back from the books, send me a message and I can help you out with that.